introduce this man. He's one of the first celebrities to come out and question 9/11, and that takes courage. And you may also remember him from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, from the Lou Grant Show. And it's my great, great pleasure and a real honor to present the 7-time Emmy Award winner and longtime activist, Ed Asner.
Ed Asner for president.
Don't be a fool. And you're not. It's a nice joke. Who would want to be president? Who would? I mean, it's like one of the trials of Hercules, cleaning up the White House and the country, cleaning up the Augean stables was one of Hercules' tasks. And I think cleaning up the White House and cleaning up the government after the departure of these bums would be even more difficult. Even Hercules couldn't achieve it. So it's amazing to me that anybody would want to become president to take on that task. I suppose a lot of people have more vaunted impressions of what they can achieve than they really can. And of course we have to stick somebody in there. So maybe Ed Asner would be good. It would be like buying a little time until people collected their wits. I'm not wearing black in honor of this occasion. I was approached on the phone in LA by Damon to drop by, and I have no speech prepared, thank God, for your sakes. But I did want to come by to say hello, to trade a few words with you. I'm doing a one-man show at the Hartford stage at 5 o'clock, so this is my wardrobe. That's a Holocaust survivor. He's entitled to wear black. This should be a panoply of bright colors, because these are the bright lights. You are the bright lights of our country. I've never met a dumb one of you yet, and I am honored to be in your presence, because I have a feeling that each and every one of you knows more and is better grounded in 9/11 than I am. I'm merely a name, a catalyst. I open my mouth and people rush to sometimes catch evidence of the gas escaping from it. So I attract attention. But you are the backbones, the spines, the thing that makes this a very viable, worthwhile cause. When I've chosen to talk to people, I run into educators, I run into intelligentsia, I run into well-placed middle-class people, and I attempt to speak of 9/11, and I can see this and they've really liked me up until that point. But once I start to talk about 9/11, they withdraw. And even if this turns out to be full of hot air, which it is not and won't be, and we may never know, as we know the way the intricacies of this democracy works, the so-called democracy, we may never be able to nail them or nail anybody, which is one of my key points in pressing for this, that 9/11 took place with all the phenomenal tragedy that occurred that day. and that this greatest power on earth that ever existed did not negate any of the attempts of terrorism, so-called terrorism, that all of the vaunted defense systems of this greatest power that ever existed could not prevent one act. And since that infamous day, not one person has ever been punished for laxness, for inefficiency, for anything. I mean, they get busy throwing brickbats at this president or that president, but that's it. And I think that's shocking and shameful. It scares the hell out of me that the people we are trying to convince, the American people, sometimes referred to as the American sheeple, can so blithely go on with their lives and not challenge Big Brother. And then the past few years I've been touring with the Scopes trial. And it's become a very big part of my life and meaningful to me. And there is something to be said that according to polls, all of Western civilization, plus Japan, at least Japan, believe in Darwinism, and at most maybe 1%, maybe 5% believe in creationism. In the United States, you have over 50% of our people who believe in creationism and would, well, 3 of the leading Republican candidates choose creationism over Darwinism. So we have a whole block of 300 million people, a large proportion of whom will not be led to truth. And that, in my opinion, makes this the hardest country in the world for us to try to prove this point, to try to find the means to get to the truth and exploit that truth. Look at Bill Maher's reaction from what I hear. I didn't see it in recent days. Look at the unbelievable number of people who they don't have time to listen to truth. So I am really thrilled to be around you, to gain some of your power, to gain some of your knowledge, to feed me further, and I will continue to identify with the movement no matter what is disproved here or what is disproved there, because in the main, the block is there, the block of challenge, the block about the infamy that took place in this country and perhaps by this government. I only know that if John Kerry, for instance, had only defended himself against the lies and the accusations, we might be further ahead on this quest for truth. But such is not the case. And so it falls upon Al Gore let us down too, for that matter. And so it falls upon us, and I consider myself a little person, and the rest of the little people, to be I think it was Van Loon, the historian, who talked about eternity being a bird that came every 10,000 years or so and chipped at a rock like the Rock of Gibraltar. And when the bird finished chipping away at the rock, that would be eternity. And it may well take eternity for us. But what better, more glorious, more sainted effort to pursue for those who died and for all those who have died in their name. And that must be our cause, and that's what we must pursue. And I thank you for letting me talk to you.